Good afternoon, Quasar Markets Live. On a day like today, we have the perfect guest for you. We have Agnieszka Wood, trading mindset coach at a head coach. How are you doing today, Agnieszka?
I'm doing good. Hibernating, falling asleep, watching the tree grow. Waiting
Yeah,
for
there
the
isn't going to be much
announcement.
here before the FOMC. I'll ask you what I've been asking the other educators this morning. Do you think we see any fireworks today? I think it's more of a yawn fest myself, that everyone's expecting us to sort of have a dovish outlook. And
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what kind of news we can get that we don't know yet, but we'll see what the reaction will be. I hope at least some kind of move, because for now,
yeah, as a trader, we need volatility. I've been sitting on my hands. I'm still in an NVIDIA long position, but besides that, pretty neutral. I love it. You're going to share with everybody a presentation that you just did recently. So tell us a little bit about the presentation.
Yeah, so I actually was thinking that this is something that really will help you guys to start looking at your trading from a different perspective, because I know that there's a lot of talk about trading edge, right? And when you start talking about to traders about, do you have an edge, a lot of people think like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. What does that mean?
What is my edge, right? And a lot of focus for trading edge goes to strategy. And I would like to talk about trading edge in a little bit more broader perspective, and why it's important that you actually have your edge in your trading. This is, as a trading mindset coach, I just see so many issues that traders have that is coming from, first of all, either not knowing the answer to this question, why do you need a trading edge as a trader, or simply not understanding the importance of it. And I can totally understand that, because I've been there myself.
Sure.
I can relate to this. When I was stuck in a cycle of inconsistency, I had no clarity at all how to break through this. And the only way that I thought would take me out of there would be to find the right strategy with the right edge, and that
Absolutely
would be it. But that didn't work. For some reason, I had a strategy, but it didn't work for me. So today I just want to talk a little bit about that. And I want to dive deeper into the real reasons why is it so difficult to achieve consistency. And actually, more importantly,
that's what we all strive for, right? That's what every trader wants. And we
right.
all think we are. There, as you said, you said even yourself, sometimes we don't look in and realize that we ourselves can be the obstacle to our trading success.
Right. And we'll talk a little bit about how to develop your edge so that you can actually push through the barriers that are stopping you from achieving consistency. I do want to give a little bit more background, because for people who are just tuning in or who have never seen me, they might think like, who is she? So I want to give you just a little bit background of where I come from. So I have not studied finances. Actually, in fact, when I was studying marketing and management, economy was the topic that I hated the most, and I was not really good at it. So I had nothing to do with mathematics. Actually, I was putting a lot of effort in mathematics in management, and I did have a really good grade, but not because I loved mathematics. It's just because I knew how to work hard. I have my passion and my focus very quickly after I studied switched to the psychology part and personal development part of a human. And I studied neuro-linguistic programming and became, after I did the different levels, the master practitioner, the trainer, I became a life coach, and started helping people to achieve their goals, to understand how they're programming themselves on the subconscious levels, and how they limit themselves and block themselves from the goals that they want. I opened my first trading account in 2010. It was completely random, never planned it. Just looked at the chart, fantastic. Someone that I knew was trading was I just met my husband, my present husband, and he was trading, and I was like, that looks so great. Let's make some money, right? Let's play. So it took me a really long time before I actually became serious about it. It was 4 years of losing and playing and being like kind of gambling, really.
Sure.
And I started trading 2014, and it says I started trading full time 2014 because I literally did the education, learned how to trade, and then opened my account, quit my job, and decided to be full-time trader.
Which is crazy.
Never do that. Never do that. Please do
The
not
first
do
thing
that.
I tell all of the people who talk to me about getting into day trading and stuff is it's a great part-time way to earn extra income while you're starting. Right? You did.
Right.
You
Right.
broke all the rules.
Yeah, it's just because the person, how I am, how I approached everything in my life at the time, the bigger challenge, the better, because I was great in surviving, and that kicked my butt terribly in trading, because, challenges, like looking for challenges, searching out problems, it's really not what you want to do in trading.
No.
But so it took me about 4 years before I was able to actually create a reliable income source from trading, so that I, built the consistency. I went through hell. It's not like, oh, 2014, boom, 2018. No, I went through hell. Okay, for 2 years, banging my head against the wall, had to do the work, the mental work, and go through transformation process to actually get to, reliable source of income in 2018. And these days, I manage my own retirement accounts. I swing trade, I day trade, and it's a completely different story. But it did not happen overnight, and it did take a lot of mental work. And just because I had the background of being an NLP practitioner for a long, long time, and a life coach, and having studied a lot of different modalities on personal development, that really helped me to do the work myself. And these days, since 2019, I coach other traders to go through the transformation process to get out of the cycle of inconsistency and start building the right conditions and the right approach, changing the mindset that helps them to actually approach the market in the right way, with the right perspective, and making the right steps towards their goals. So that's just in a nutshell about me.
Well, I want to break in first for 1 second, because that isn't all that now that you've been doing this for this time. I attended your webinar that you did on Monday. It was awesome with Dr. I don't want to say my name wrong, Steenberger.
Yes, Brett Steenberger. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were amazing, and you have really been, instrumental to transforming so many traders, their outcomes. You've been nice enough to share with us at Quasar some of your time, and you and I have gotten pretty close in talking, all the time. So I know these successes. I also want to stress to our viewers, I don't have another educator that gets more vested and happier about the success of her clients and her traders than Agnieszka, and that is beyond, special.
Yes, and that's the drive that I always had. I don't give up easily, but it also means that if I invest my time in someone, I don't let you give up easily either. So,
which is great.
So why does consistency feel so hard? Like, why the hell is it so difficult just to do things every time the same way, to keep consistent, right? Not just in trading, but in life. Why is it so hard? Why are we so like, oh, it's great to have these peaks and then fall down, and peaks and fall down? Why is it so difficult to just do this, right? So this is something that almost every trader struggles with. And whether you have been trading for a long time or just starting, that is something that you always have to work on. And it feels so hard because it is about repetition. And let's be honest, it's boring. It's not really exciting. And I used to be very, addicted to dopamine, to that feeling of excitement. And when you enter the market, there is a lot of that. So
Absolutely.
The market is going to trigger, I call it the squirrel syndrome. It's like, oh, the squirrel here. Oh, another thing is moving there and here. It's like everywhere you see those shiny objects.
Yeah, if you have ADHD, it is a hard thing to manage when it comes to trading. I've actually found for myself less is more a little bit. And you were one of the people that stressed that to me. And I've cut down a little bit on the screens, not on my data that I need, but maybe on the superfluous, Main Street media pushing stuff at me in social media.
Right. And, it's really about like, you have to have rules, right? To keep yourself consistent, you have to have rules and then stick to it. But the truth is, most people who are getting into trading, they want freedom.
Right.
They don't want rules. They want to get away from someone telling them what to do, right? Because who likes rules? But the truth is that if you are not ready to deal with that freedom, you are not going to be able to make it in trading. So if you want to have freedom, you are the one who has to keep yourself in the system and make your own rules. Because without the rules, there's just simply an anarchy. And that's what's happening if you are not sticking to your rules. It's like you doing crazy shit. And you don't have the results that you want. So if you are not making it yet in trading, if you are not succeeding, that means you are not ready to handle the freedom that you have, because you have all the freedom you want. It's just you and the computer. So you have all the freedom to make your decisions. Just remember that. And you can decide when you enter, where you exit, when to walk away, what decisions to make. And you have to act in your best interest, because if you don't, you're going to blow up your account.
Right.
And
always.
If you don't acknowledge that, if you don't acknowledge what really is going on and don't be honest with yourself, you are not going to address it, and then it's not going to get any better. So just to give you a perspective, only 3% of day traders make consistent profits, okay? Most of them can't even make a minimum wage with day trading.
Right.
That shows you that
people
without
don't realize
the trading edge,
that's that low. People don't realize that.
Yeah. If you don't have an edge, if you can have a strategy, but if you cannot implement it, it's nearly impossible to realize your goals and your dreams with trading. And that's why 80% of traders quit within the first 2 years.
Right.
And that is a vast majority of trading accounts are losing money over time in general, right? So, and these are not just the numbers. This is really a reflection of how difficult it is to succeed without a solid edge. The scary part is if you don't realize it, or if you don't want to know it.
Right.
Without it, not only
is it scary, but it goes to the fact of the things that we talk about, of understanding, so many retail traders do fail first before they succeed. Learning from those mistakes, looking for the right avenues at Quasar. That's why we do this every day. We're trying to educate retail traders. We're not trying to scare you from trading. We're trying to get you into the right mindset and to have the right approach if you do want to succeed, because we're not going to tell you that people don't make millions. There are many that do.
Yeah. And I think you guys are doing a great job in bringing the awareness of what it actually really means to trade. It's like, nobody can do this for you. Nobody will tell you, oh, just do A, B, C, and it's going to work. Right. You have to do the work. That's why, if you expect you can read thousands of books, you can even sign up for courses, but if you do not actually do the work, it's not going to work. If you don't work,
I can tell you that from my experience as an educator at Prosper is, not every trader could take the same signal that I was putting out, even though everything was in math, and here, buy at this, have it take profit at this, have a stop loss. Some just refused. Some had to put it a little lower. Some, there's still those people that say, oh, people are looking for your stop loss, so I never enter them. You'd have these different views that traders have. And what you find is that, again, it's about having consistency. And it isn't the same. Like that really opened my eyes, is that I could have a room of 100 people that were basically supposed to enter the same trade, but how varied the profit and losses of those same people could be over any given period of time.
Because it is not about entering. It's really easy. You push the button, right? It's about what do you do after? How will you be able to carry yourself to manage that trade, and what is going to come in between? Because that's when, like, the moment you put money at risk, that's where all the demons are hitting you, and you gotta know what to do, right? You cannot get swayed by all your fears, by all your emotions, by everything that you are experiencing and feeling from your body physically, the stress. You have to be able to handle the environment. And if you just think, oh, you know what, this is just going to happen for me with time.
No.
Unfortunately, it is not. It is not just like with a wound that if you wait long enough, your body will heal it.
Yeah. No,
it doesn't work like
You'll
this.
die by 1,000 paper cuts, is exactly what happens.
Yeah. And the thing is that we are what we repeatedly do. And if you keep repeating your mistakes over and over again and not changing anything, it's going to become a habit. And habits are hard to change.
Yeah.
Excellence is also a habit. It's not an act. It's not like just something that happens to you. It's a habit. So you have to build your good habits, your excellence, by repetition of the actions that are bringing you closer to your goals. And that's really what a lot of traders struggle to establish, the repetitive actions to build habits, the right actions.
Well, you just hit on it. You get lucky, as we've talked about in the past, what can be the worst thing for a new trader is to get lucky once, because then they believe that was not luck, but that it was actually something that they did that caused this reversal in a stock price or whatever else it might be. And then they burn out their account because they expect that to repeat exactly. And that is not what happened.
Yeah. And that's how consistency is built, by repeating those good actions, the actions that are leading you and to your goal. And if you think about it, it's like, what are the common struggles, right? Everyone struggles really with the same things. You're constantly second guessing yourself. You jump from strategy to strategy, and then you hope, okay, this will be the one.
Right.
And you feel like the market is out there to get you, but then every loss stings deeper than it should.
Yep.
It's just hitting something, and you don't even understand, why is it hitting me so much, right? So those are very common things that are happening. And the misconception is that somehow, if I have the good strategy only, or copy someone else, like you said, you had people trying to follow your trades, that this is going to solve it. But this is not where it's going to come from.
Nope.
And it is also not where this is just one part of your edge, because your strategy is not the whole thing. Because there is no such thing as a strategy that works 100% of the time.
Yeah, no, any trader that tells you they have never had a losing trade is a lying trader. As we often talk about, only one person can buy at the absolute top. Only one person can sell at the absolute bottom.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in a gray area. So when someone tells you they bought at the absolute bottom, no, they bought somewhere near it maybe, but it is, those are the things that traders trick themselves into thinking are actualities that just aren't there. And it leads you again, to death by 1,000 paper cuts, where you just eventually, what we've talked about too, where you lose belief in yourself, and that can be the worst part.
Right. Yeah, that is the worst part, because the moment that you cannot trust yourself, what can you trust? Because you cannot trust the market. That your strategy is also only going to work a certain percentage of time. So the whole system starts to shake. And if you are looking for a shortcut, if someone tells you, okay, this is the shortcut, this is going to happen really fast, and you don't have to do the work, then I'm really sorry, but someone lied to you.
Yes, there's no such thing. There isn't. Like you said, it could be lucky. You could get a run. It can work. I've seen, those foolish type of positions that do work for a little while, but they eventually burn out. They burn out completely. They don't just lose a little money. They lose all their money.
Exactly. So, even if you have the strategy, it's the best strategy in the world, if you cannot execute it consistently, it's worthless, because the whole system breaks. The strategies are made in a way that if you consistently execute it, then it's working. But you are the risk factor. You are the broken wheel.
Yeah, you actually put, like you said, you put your finger on that button and you're pushing the sell and the buy buttons. And what you find is there's a different level of uncertainty, a different level of fear, a different level of acceptance that somebody can have on a trade. And it changes even if you are just trying to copy someone. You have to understand the strategy is only one part. Managing your emotions and being able to manage the trade once you're in it is the hardest part. It's easy to enter a trade. To me, it's very hard to manage the trade properly. I think it's the hardest part.
Yes, absolutely, because everything comes in between when you're in it, and there's money at stake, and that's where things are flipping in our head. So just imagine a professional athlete. Like, you can have the best training plan in the world, but if the athlete cannot stay focused, if it cannot stick to the routine,
if the guy doesn't catch that one pass like this past week, 2 weekends ago, the Ravens lose and they're not in the playoffs anymore. So the best laid plans of mice and men, right?
Exactly. So trading isn't just about tools, it's about the trader. It's about you, because you are using the tools, and if you are using the tools wrong, they might be the best tools.
We can all, we can have the nicest computer, the fastest, the best trading programs, but if you yourself can't get there, it doesn't matter.
Because your strategy is really only as strong as your ability to execute it, and if fear or greed or hesitation takes over, you will simply deviate from your plan, and then suddenly this best strategy is not going to save you. So even with a great strategy, it only works if you follow it. So you need a strategy with positive expectancy. Yes, you need that. It means that you need to have more average wins than losses over time. Not just on one day, over time. So don't measure your consistency in one day or even in 1 week. We're talking about longer period of time, like at least a month, and then you start looking if your strategy is what is not working. Like, if you have constantly losses, yes, you can start looking earlier, but in general, measure your consistency over time.
Secondly, otherwise you have knee-jerk reactions. What you don't want to do is have a knee-jerk reaction to one bad trade or one successful trade. So I love that. That's a great way to look at it.
It's just like when you are in a relationship, right? If you have a fight, you're not going to immediately say, okay, that's a bad relationship, I think we have to split. It's not working, obviously. So you need to be able to follow that strategy consistently. And if you cannot, it's just like having a high performance car, but not knowing how to drive it. So you have amazing potential, but then without the skill and your focus to handle it, it just won't get you far. And this is really the part of work that many traders overlook: the execution, the discipline, the mindset. And those are really critical to that second part, this consistent execution. So this is really what your trading edge is. It's your strategy with consistent execution. That's a combination. You really need both.
Without a doubt. Otherwise, we talk about it in the way of, preservation of your capital. You're not going to do that unless you have both sides of this, because you see too many traders. They have, a great Monday, a great Tuesday. They're so excited. They triple down on Wednesday and they lose all of Mondays and Tuesdays, wins, and they lose more than that. It is important.
So this is just the beginning, guys. And next time, what I would like to talk about is going further into, so how do you develop the trading edge? So if you are interested to hear more, if this triggered you and was like, okay, how do I do this second part? We will do this next time, which will be on Monday, right?
Yep, absolutely. I do also have been putting on the banner here how they can find you at headcoach.com. And Agnieszka is here every Monday and Wednesday with us at noon. She gives us so much of her time. I do want to let you get out of here because I know that.
Let me just quickly pull up my website, because I want to mention the conference actually for next week.
Absolutely.
Share my screen again. if you guys go to headcoach.com, give me 1 second. Here we go. If you go to headcoach.com, on top there is a banner where you can register for free, and it's a Tradefulness conference hosted by Tradefulness. Let's see where it's going to take us. There we go. And you will have about 19 speakers talking in this conference. These are professionals in trading psychology, trading mindset coaches. So really a lot of great content. I will be presenting on the first day on February 4th at 11:20 Eastern Time. But you will see there's really a lot of great speakers. So I highly recommend it. This is actually the first trading psychology conference ever.
I've not seen one before. Didn't know this was coming up. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
You know, especially after seeing your webinar with Dr. Stenberger. You know, I can see what the difference in styles, you know, gives. Not everybody's going to fall into one category, and having different people to, you know, bounce these ideas off, to ask questions at these type of conferences and things is amazing. I know you have a client coming up, so I want to get you out of here. I have to respect your time. Thank you so much, Agnieszka. We will see you on Monday. And thank you so much, Quasar Markets Live. We will be back at 1 o'clock with Scott Bauer and Prosper Trading live from the floor of the SIBO. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Howard. Thank you, everyone. Take care till Monday. Bye.